How do you find studs in the wall? So you're going to hang kitchen cabinets, you're going to hang shelves, you're going to hang something on a wall, and you need to desperately know where those studs are. Like maybe you're hanging a TV as well. So that's the tough part. That frustrates so many people, and I can tell you over the years I've played with many different alleged stud finders, and all they do is find nothing for me. So today we're going to show you three proven methods that we use every day to find studs when we need to find them. Now let me just point out a few things to you, because you know how like when you play bingo you get a free spot? Well, this is your free spot here. Whenever you have an electrical outlet, this is typically 90% of the time, when you have an electrical outlet, there's going to be a stud right next to it, because the outlet box that's behind here is usually mounting to a stud that's right here or a stud that's right here. We don't know where it is right now, but at least it kind of narrows it down to us so we know where to check. Okay, so I want to review here with you three different tools that I use. So this is one of the tools that I've been using for the last few years. This here is about $40, and I like these better than most of the other stud finders because you just put it on the wall like this, you push the button, and when you get in front of a stud you'll see usually 3 or 4 LEDs light up, see, like that. And as you move across it stays in position, and you just take your pencil and you mark, so that's how you know where you have a stud. That's about as quick as you could possibly get a method for finding a stud. And normally there's a stud way in the corner, and for some reason on this particular wall they put the stud right there, right? And you can sort of prove the theory here of how it works when you can see a stud that's exposed right there, and if I just push the button right in front of it, you'll see how it lights up there. See? So that's what we do, is we can just go across the wall. We start here, there's a stud there, we know there's a stud there, and we know we're going to find a stud over here. And so within about a matter of a minute, you can do the entire wall. And let me show you what we do once we find a stud. Alright, so what I do is, like, once I have my stud and I've marked what I think is either side of it here, that's how you know somewhere along there. But the problem is sometimes if you have wood studs or even with metal studs, they may not be going straight up the wall inside the wall. That's the problem most people have. Is how many times have you put a screw that you thought was right in the middle of the stud and you found out you missed the stud. So that's bad, especially if you're doing cabinets. So this is another one that I use too, this other tool here. This is called the Magic Stud Finder here. And don't know if you've ever seen any of these before, but these are really cool. It uses these little magnets with targets on them, see? And what you do is you stick these magnets, and these are very powerful on here. See, while other people are busy wasting their lives looking for the stud, I'm looking for the screws that are in the stud that they use to put the drywall into the stud with. So you put this on the wall, and you kind of move it around. Up, there it is. So that one's stuck on the head of a screw. And I'm going to move this around, and that found another screw there. And so now what I do is I mark where the screw heads were. Do it like that with a dot and an X so I know where it is. Alright, now I'm going to find a third stud screw hole right there. So right here I have already identified a direct line for 3 of the screw heads. So presumably when the drywall installers originally put these walls up, they can see the studs when they're putting the drywall up. So they know that they're going to hit the stud 99.9% of the time. Hit the stud. So now that I have my 3 dots, I'm going to draw a vertical line. And that's how I know that if I put a screw anywhere down that line, I'm guaranteed to hit a stud. Alright, so let's do a sanity check here. I'm going to run my stud finder underneath it, and sure enough you can see my dot is right in the middle of it. So I'm guaranteed that right there I'm in the middle of the stud. And let's do this one up here too. So you can see right there I'm guaranteed that I'm right in the middle of the stud as well. And likewise up top, I'm going to scan right by it, and you can see that I'm right directly in line with the stud. Okay, so when we're putting up cabinets, we usually spend a few minutes first going down the line, and I just put tape where each of my studs are. right in the middle like that. That way I know exactly where the studs are. Okay. And well, here you can already see it. And here you can see, if we want to come in and take a close look right over here. See how these screws are sticking up here out of, this is where the screws were used to put the drywall in. And you can see how they seem to get it right smack dab in the middle just about every time. So there's proof for you that if you can find the center heads of these screws, you're going to be pretty good solid in the middle of the stud. Okay, so the problem with the other tools, you know, people don't want to spend money on it, but if you want the stuff that really works, you got to spend the bucks. So this precision one here that I just showed you here, this one here I paid about $41 for it. The Magic Stud Finder is about $20. And then we also bought this one here. I got this one off my Amazon Prime. This was about 60 bucks right here, the Walabot. And what this one does is, this is the newest technology. This hooks up to your phone, and I'll show you in a second. But basically you'll scan it around the wall and it shows you the image, almost like an X-ray. So here's what comes in the box. This is the actual scanner part here, and this sticks to the back of your phone. And then it comes with a couple of USB cables. One is for Type-C and the other one's the regular type. Now my phone here is the Samsung Galaxy S8, and it takes up the bigger, slightly bigger Type-C connector here, which is right there. You can see it there. So we're going to hook that up to it right now. Alright, so I've got my Walabot here connected up to my phone. And we're just going to put it up to the wall here. We know that there's a stud somewhere in this area here, so let's see if it'll find anything. So I'm going to do a calibration first, so it can do its calibration against this wall. So I'll hit the calibrate button, and it's going to tell me to start. And it just wants me to sweep around a little bit so it can take some readings and see what it finds. And I've already told it it's on a drywall. Okay, so now it's done with its calibration. See, now you're in real-time mode. So here, see how it's just spotted this cable right here? So if we want to come in close and take a look at the screen here. So see, as I move it, it kind of moves it around too. So that's a real-time mode. It's almost like getting an X-ray. So if I follow the wire, let's say, hey, I want to know where this wire goes. It's going to end up like right here at the metal stud. See that? That's the metal stud right there. And so it disappears because it's strapped to the inside of that stud now. So that's pretty much how this works. This is pretty good too, because then I can just mark the middle of the screen. That's the middle of my stud right there. So this is another way of finding it. Plus it gives you a glimpse as to what's going on behind the wall too. Like if you have a cable that you don't know, what's it doing, where's it going. This is another way to do it. People aren't always willing to spend 60 bucks on this, but I spend the bucks on all the tools and make sure that I have everything working. So I'm going to give you links down below in the description here, the written description, and you can click on them. Now I just wanted to give you a little disclosure. They're my Amazon.com affiliate links, so if you click on them and buy something, we get a little bit of a commission for it. And so that's what helps us to continue to bring you free videos all the time. And hopefully you'll use it. And even if you plan on buying something else, you can still click on any of our Amazon links below down in the description, and we would get a little percentage of that too. Took quite a bit of time. So this will be very convenient for them, and you can see you won't need any clearance when you open up the door, because you can just walk right in, because you'll have a 12-inch deep shelf that just goes right there. So here's what it's going to look like when you look into the closet here. And then it's important to find all of your studs. So I use these little magnetic guys here, and I'll show you how it works. This is actually kind of cool. You put them in here, and you just run it up the wall like this, and when it finds a nail, it just sort of pops right out and it sticks to the wall there. Little target guy. So then I just find 2 or 3 points, and I run my tape up the wall, and wherever you see these strips of tape, that's where your studs are. It can't get any easier than this, folks. I don't waste time with stud finders. A lot of times they don't work right. What these guys find is they find the screw. Forget about looking for the stud. I look for the screw. Once I find a bunch of screws in a line, I know where my stud is, and I know, you know, you're assuming they hit the center of the stud because they had the drywall, the studs were open at one time when they were hanging the drywall, so they know where to put the screws. So this is, to me, over the years has proven to be the most reliable method for marking your studs.